For anyone who's curious about EFT, whether you're thinking about buying the game for the first time or wondering if you should just jump back into it, there is no better time to play Tarkov than right now. With the rapid approach of the 1.0 release later this year, it seems as though we won't be getting any more wipes until then, which means no more opportunities to play the game when everyone's on the same playing field. For some people, the idea of jumping into the game this late into a wipe cycle can evoke two camps of thought. They'll either love the difficulty of going up against geared players, or stress at having to compete with people who are so well equipped. And my advice would be to simply take the game and its moments as they come. Tarkov is such a uniquely open game regarding how things during a raid can play out. You can have the perfect plan to complete a bunch of tasks or some specific parts of the map you want to loot and explore, and all it takes is one player or one AI to throw everything into chaos. Being adaptable on the fly is one of the strongest skills to have when playing, and you'll experience moments like that regardless of what part of the wipe you're currently in. Mistakes are bound to happen, and that's okay. This game encourages losing through experience and learning from them, and you'd be surprised by how many players are still at a relatively low level. I've had plenty of lobbies recently where the average level was anywhere from 15 to 30, so if you want to get into Tarkov for any reason, now is simply the best time to do so. There is an almost guarantee that you're going to run into heavily geared players in your EFT travels these days. Most of the people playing are very high leveled or deep into at least one prestige. Only the most dedicated of player is still around actively running raids. And while that might seem like a bad thing, especially if you're either new or just haven't played in a while, that's actually a good thing. With more geared players running around, it means you have a higher likelihood of being able to snatch some leftover loot from a fight you weren't present for, or better yet, besting one of those players yourself and taking their loot yourself. It might seem impossible, similar to like a David versus Goliath circumstance, but with some good positioning and map awareness, you can easily ambush a player and catch them off guard, reaping the benefits of their death in the process. There is always the chance that someone might take pity on a new player and assist with whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. For all the fighting people enjoy doing, if there is something that puts a smile on everybody's face, it's being able to successfully help a low-leveled PMC with a quest or just giving them a bunch of free gear. I can speak from experience. I love helping new players. A lot of people don't communicate in EFT these days with VoIP, but anytime someone does play ball, I am more happy to oblige. Your chances of being successful aren't as bleak as you might think. It is gonna suck, I won't lie to you. There is a lot of death and learning you'll have to do, but you will get better and you will survive more and more as time goes on. We still don't know exactly what 1.0 is going to entail for Tarkov. We're expecting it by the end of this year, which even that is still subject to change. I'd like to hold BSG accountable on this general release window, but they've never been good with timelines, so we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, we can only speculate what 1.0 is going to feel like upon booting it up for the first time. Will the game be drastically different? Will it be more of the same with some extra fluff added to it, or something in between? As much as I would like to guess on where it might land, at this point, I kinda just want to see it. But even still, now is essentially your last chance to play the game we know and love, because at any point it could be something totally different. So if you're someone who's been curious about what people have been playing for essentially almost a decade now, I would recommend jumping on and experiencing it for yourself. Because once 1.0 comes out, we won't be able to roll that version back and get the game we currently have. It's still weird to even say that we're close to 1.0. We were expecting Streets for so many years, and it was only recently in the grand scheme of things that we finally got that map. Being able to say we're at the end is both cathartic but also kind of sad. This project people have been supporting for so long is nearing its end, and finally BSG can wrap things up and move on to their next project, which I still wonder if it's Russia 2028, essentially the single-player version of EFT set in the same universe, or if maybe they're sick of that idea and want to do something totally different. Either way, I am curious what they might end up doing in the future. A lot of people ask players of Tarkov, when the best or perfect time to jump into the game is. Naturally, people will usually say when the game wipes because that way you're on the most even playing field with everybody else. And while that is definitely true, these days with how optimized the routing is with Tarkov, even that doesn't last too long. A week or two max at this point. People doing, full marathons to get to the end game again, exactly where they were days before the game wiped, but to be honest, there is no singular perfect moment to jump into the game. If you're new, you have to learn regardless of what point the game is currently in. Dying is just a major part of that learning process, and it's something that you'll continue to do even after thousands of hours in the game. And if you're simply returning after a hiatus for whatever reason, you'll at least be familiar with most of the game's mechanics and the day-to-day ongoings of EFT. I imagine there are plenty of people who bailed on the game for one or more reasons and are simply waiting for that 1.0 release to at least try the game again and see what's new. Again, we don't know how involved it's going to be. I would love to say it will feel like a completely different game, in terms of progression and how we navigate the world, but they've been very tight-lipped about stuff related to that and don't want to ruin the surprise, in true BSG fashion. Like I said at the start, if you have even the tiniest inclination of jumping back into EFT, you might as well just do it right now. I mean, what have you got to lose? The best time to get back into Tarkov is right now. Whether you've been gone for a couple weeks, months, or years, and with how long this wipe cycle is most likely going to be, it means the sooner you get back into it now, the more prepared you will be when the game does wipe for potentially the last time. 1.0 grows closer each passing day, and hopefully it meets the requests and demands of all the players who have supported this game and have been patiently waiting to see the end result play out. Whether or not there is future support for this game, in the names of extra content and DLCs, we will have to wait and hear from the big man himself. Otherwise, if you like Tarkov or are curious about playing it, just do yourself a favor and play it sooner rather than later. You'll thank yourself down the line. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on the best time to get back into Tarkov if you have that desire, if you think we will see 1.0 later this year like they said, and be sure to subscribe for more videos about the coming on and offs of this game that have been around for almost an entire decade. I hope to see you in future ones.